Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we're Cass and Keen. We're brand new sailors currently in our first sailing season through the Bahamas, and today we're sharing one of our favorite stops so far, CocoCay on Green Turtle Cay. Think stingrays gliding through crystal clear water and sea turtles popping in to say hi. It was so special we actually came back a second time. We have some new faces around here, so I thought I'd give a little backstory. We've been together since 2012, and in January of this year, we bought our very first sailboat. We had just 1 week of ASA certification training back in 2022, and now here we are, cruising full-time with our two pups, Honey and Doodle. Keenan recently transitioned from active duty Army to the reserves, and when we're not sailing, we run a wedding videography business full-time called Lucky Penny Films. So yeah, this is quite the huge leap for us, and we're definitely still figuring it out as we go. But it's been wild, rewarding, and full of moments like this one that remind us exactly why we're doing it. If you're into sailing, travel, or just following people who take big risks to chase a dream, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We've got so much more coming your way. Alright, enough yapping. Let's get into that northern Abaco magic.
Okay, join us today for a day in the life living on a sailboat. We already got up and got dressed and turned the engines on, and then we had this idea. So, yeah, this is what we are spending the day doing.
Come cook breakfast with me. And just make some eggs and toast. Cass likes it over medium with some hot honey on it. And I'm gonna do scrambled with some cheese.
I remember being so curious about how food would work while living on a boat. For us, as you saw in a previous episode, we did a big provisioning run before leaving West Palm. Since this whole adventure is really new to us and we're trying to be financially conscious, we didn't plan to eat out much. We were hoping our groceries would stretch for a good while. A typical breakfast looks something like this: 1 egg over medium for me, 2 scrambled eggs for Keenan, a piece of toast, and splitting of fruit, usually an apple or a banana. If you saw last episode, you know Keenan broke the yolk. This time, he slayed. Keenan's recently been interested in trying overnight oats for breakfast, since they're a bit easier and a little bit quicker. I'm personally not a fan of the texture, but I'm curious to see if he likes them. If you have any go-to/boat-friendly breakfast ideas, let us know in the comments. Our plan today is a quick 4 nautical mile sail from Manjack Cay to Green Turtle. Let's go.
All right, time to get the anchor up.
Keenan pulls up the anchor. I usually get the girls into their life jackets, make sure all the hatches are closed, and put away anything that can fall. Once everything's secured, it's time to get the sail ready. The weather was pretty calm today, so I turned the boat into the wind while Keenan captured what it looks like when we raise the sail. He also helped guide it so it wouldn't get caught on any of the lacy jacks. Of course, if the wind were strong or conditions were rough, he would never go up there. Next, we turned the boat downwind and pulled out the jib sheet. Keenan's figured out how to do this part single-handed. He usually doesn't have to, but it's comforting to know that if needed, the boat could be managed by just one person. Once the sails are up and we've got good wind, we go ahead and turn off the engines. And as Keenan likes to say,
All right, now we're moving at 6 knots for $3.99. Check out the sails. Not too bad.
Okay, we know it's not actually $3.99, but that's just what we like to tell ourselves.
And of course, Doodle assumes position before I can clean up the rest of the lines. It's for some reason it's Doodle and Honey's favorite spot to lay on. Hitting 7 knots now, we're getting some good wind. So we're starting to catch up to these other sailboats on the way to Green Turtle.
There's no better spot than the dolphin seat when the views are this good. And yeah, I'm definitely admiring our sails, because honestly, there still isn't a day that goes by that we're not shocked that this is actually our life. We've dreamed about this for so long, and now that we're here, it's kind of surreal. Our girls, Doodle and Honey, are loving it too. All the fresh air, new smells, and cozy naps in the sun, they've fully embraced boat life. Honestly, we think they might be happier than we are sometimes. And while they're living the dream, we're still figuring out the realities of life afloat. While we're underway, we both try to sneak in some tidying here and there. It's honestly shocking how messy a little space can get after just a day of sailing. Doing dishes with limited water, that's definitely an adjustment, and making the bed in a tight space, I'm convinced is the worst chore on the entire boat. Well, probably not the worst, but it's definitely not my favorite. So let me just speed this up a little bit. And I'll be real with y'all, we definitely don't do this every single day. But the days we do, it feels so much better. But even with this mess and the chores, we wouldn't trade this life for anything. This is our little floating home, and we genuinely love it so much. We chose the Abacos as our very first stop on our Bahamian adventure. And if you're new to sailing these waters, this is an ideal place to start. Here's why. The Abacos are often called the sailing capital of the Bahamas, and for good reason. This chain of islands offers well-protected waters, short hops between distances, friendly communities, and some of the clearest, most inviting water on the planet. For new sailors like us, it felt like a gentle introduction to the cruising lifestyle. And just like that, we were in Green Turtle. We chose to play it safe and anchor at Joyless Point. Several boats were anchored in White Sound East, including a friend of ours, but the waters on the way in get very shallow, so it just wasn't a risk that we felt was worth taking. We dropped the dinghy, which as you can see is quite the process, and headed towards the public dinghy dock at Green Turtle Bay.
Got it?
Keenan's usually first in the dinghy, so I think this is actually my first time starting it.
Okay, so put the little black clip, in there.
Just like force it on it.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Turn that handle a little bit. And then you're gonna pull that ripcord as hard as you can. Watch out, honey. Nope, as hard as you can. There you go. Now give it a little bit more juice. Not a lot. Okay. No, not a lot.
Green Turtle itself is only about 3 miles long, and it's packed with character. Most people get around by golf cart and rave that the main town is a perfect step back in time, and that there's pristine beaches all around.
Let's go to the beach.
It's a big draw for sailors thanks to its protected anchorages, great snorkeling, and access to services like fuel, provisions, and local boatyards. We never did actually make it over to the town and instead chose to explore the island by foot. We took a quick walk over to CocoCay to see some turtles and stingrays, and it did not disappoint. All right, we just pulled up to the courtesy dock at Green Turtle Bay Marina, and now we are walking towards CocoCay in hopes to see some stingrays.
Sharks, turtles.
Turtles and stingrays would be my ideal. I'm good on sharks. But we got the girls with us too, so should be a nice little walk.
Get some good steps in today.
Finally, we're getting to do some exploring.
I see water.
Hopefully.
Like we're walking, so.
So we didn't get quite as many steps as we had hoped. Turned out, Coco Bay is pretty close. The second we broke through the tree line, we were greeted by something pretty unforgettable. Stingrays everywhere, and they were not shy at all. They came right up to us, gliding through the crystal clear shallows like they owned the place. I had never had an encounter with a stingray before, so I honestly had no idea what to expect. And to be honest, I was a little nervous. Turns out they are pretty incredible and quite friendly. Touching a stingray feels smooth and cool, almost like a wet rubber or a soft leather. Their skin has a slightly slippery texture, but it's firmer than you would expect, kind of like a really dense, damp suede. It's not slimy at all, it's just soft and tough at the same time. I don't know how else to describe it. The second we would get into the water, they would just glide past us and brush our leg or our hand. I think it's because tourists and locals often feed them squid, so they're quite curious to see what you might have. Little do they know, they probably eat better than we do, so we unfortunately were empty-handed, but it was still an amazing experience. So crazy. If you're anything like me and suddenly obsessed with stingrays after an encounter like this, here are some facts that you might not know. 1. Stingrays are actually related to sharks. Their bodies are made of cartilage instead of bone. 2. The little smile on their face, that's not actually a smile. Their mouth is underneath along with their gills. 3. They breathe through little holes on the top of their head, which lets them stay buried in the sand and still be able to breathe. 4. They're not aggressive at all. Most stings happen when somebody accidentally steps on one, so that's why you always have to do the stingray shuffle. And last but not least, if they lose their venomous tail barb, they actually can grow it back, just like a lizard.
There's so many out here. It's crazy.
Keenan, being a bit braver than me, decided to wade almost chest deep to see a sea turtle that was a bit further out. The stingrays were still all around him, but he had another unexpected visitor join the party. I'm not sure I would have been that comfortable being that far out with all the stingrays around, but he was really just there to see the sea turtle, and he even got to feed it some squid. Keenan and I ended up staying way longer than we expected. Every single time we would shuffle into the water, the stingrays were right there with us. It was honestly mesmerizing watching them dance through the crystal clear water. And the best part was seeing other people walk up to the beach and light up the second that they would spot the stingrays. It was just pure magic for everyone. The whole experience was unforgettable, and honestly, we feel so incredibly lucky to be here. This is what we always hoped boat life would bring into our lives, so we soaked in this day as long as we could. And eventually, everyone left, and it was just us.
Wild puppy in their own habitat.
How are you feeling about that experience?
Oh, it was so cool.
It's
They're
just
so
so
friendly.
cool to like walk into the ocean, have all these stingrays come up.
They're so friendly.
Yeah, it's just the craziest thing. The girls are being really good. Honey just needs to like run out all of her energy, so we're playing with her now.
Good girl.
Trying to keep her out of the water. And Doodle, of course, is just chilling.
This was actually one of the few spots we loved so much we came back a second time. So I'm dropping in a little Super 8 montage from our return visit. And after a long day in the sun, it was time to pack up our things and walk back home.
We ended up staying just a little bit longer than we thought we would, just because it was awesome.
It was so cool. I love stingrays now.
That's what you expect for boat life, I guess, is you never really know what to expect. So
Yeah, it was a really good day. The dogs loved it. I mean, Honey was a little sad because she kept wanting to run into the water. But Doodle loved chilling all day, and it was a nice day off the boat. We've been on the boat pretty much since we got it, so it was nice to just chill. And enjoy what that life is.
Yeah, so we'll see how this day in the life turns out. But, you know, sometimes it's just a sunny beach day.
And that is an accurate day in the life.
We ended our day like we do most nights, made some dinner, edited, and then watched a show. Today was a perfect day. Next week, we're heading to the stunning blue waters of Treasure Cay, and let's just say things don't go exactly as planned. We may or may not lose our drone to the ocean. Rip, little guy. And we tackle one of the most talked about passages in the Abacos, the whale cut, as we make our way to Hopetown. It's definitely an episode you don't want to miss. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. It's totally free and does wonders for our small channel. Drop a comment down below if you've ever had an encounter with stingrays and what your experience was like. We love learning more about you guys and hope to keep building on this awesome community.
Thanks for watching!